Hey, you caught me yawning. You ever been so tired, but you shouldn't go to sleep? Maybe you've had an important event and you knew that you shouldn't sleep, but you just kind of fought against your body, against your physical limitations. My daughter this year in university, she fell asleep in the middle of an exam. True story. But that's not the worst time you can fall asleep. Today, in the scriptures, we have a time where a guy fell asleep at the best of moments. Paul had come into town. Paul, the guy who wrote much of the New Testament, famous preacher, spoke about Jesus, grew a whole bunch of churches, and here he is in a house. And he's speaking to people. He's been invited in to break bread with them. And he begins talking, and it's late, and they got the lamps running. And this guy in the window, his name is Eutychus. Eutychus starts to doze. And all of a sudden, he's out. And he falls out of the window 3 stories. And when they go down to see him, they pick him up dead. But then Paul prays for him, heals him, and he's alive. And he keeps preaching long into the night. So, funny story. But what does it have to say to us today? Here's what I think it has to say. God knows your physical limitations. He created us this way. He created us to sleep and to eat and knows all the physical limitations we have. And I would even suggest that he uses those at times for his purposes, to point back to who he is. In the case of Eutychus, this brought glory to God. Even though he fell out of a window and everyone was scared and obviously fearful that he had died, which he had. But God used Paul to bring him back to life. Can you imagine listening to that message after that just happened? Could you imagine what that did in people's lives? God uses your physical limitations. You might see them as weaknesses, but God uses those to show who he is through you. I hope that's a good word for you tonight. Get some rest.